Kelly, and this is Hudson Valley Arts Speak. We're here today with Linda Marston Reid, and Linda is the Executive Director of the Dutchess County Arts Council, soon to be known as Mid Hudson Arts. Is that right, Linda?
Arts Mid Hudson.
Mid Hudson.
Yes.
Yeah. So why the name change? Is it?
I think the Arts Mid Hudson has been a long time coming. We have that currently as our web page. If you can go to www.artsmidhudson. But for years we have served Dutchess County, Ulster County, and there's always been that river, which has been the divide, and then our name, Dutchess County Arts Council. So we just felt like it was time. And we did a strategic planning process last year, and we actually went out, we had NICON go out and talk to all of our stakeholders, former grantees, artists, people who are our funders, and people in the community, and they asked them, what do you think about this? What would happen if they changed their name? And everybody said, we think it's a great idea, it's about time.
So it really reflects not a change, but just kind of an update of things that you're currently doing, your regional aspect as opposed to just your local aspect.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we consider ourselves to be, as a regional, overarching umbrella over the arts and culture.
Yeah, and you've done a lot since, I mean, you're relatively new on the job.
Yeah, I am. Less than 2 years.
Yeah, but you've made great changes. I'm very impressed with all the things that you've done in Poughkeepsie. So why don't you talk a little bit about the Queen City Arts Initiative?
Well, that was one of the first things I noticed when I moved into, the Arts Council is centered in Poughkeepsie. That's where our office is. It's pretty well located between Eastern Dutchess and Ulster, and so that's where we sit. And I actually live in Poughkeepsie right on Main Street, and one of the things I noticed when I moved there was the beautiful architecture, the beautiful natural surroundings. But then after I moved in, I started noticing there's a lot of urban blight problems, like empty buildings, businesses going out of business, and we thought, what better to remedy this and to provide an opportunity for the artists than to start having a monthly arts happening, and so we started calling it Queen City Saturdays.
Right, and Queen City is, why Queen City?
Well, Queen City, Poughkeepsie is one of the Queen Cities, and I think that was really, if you go and you can research this, there's a lot of Queen Cities. I believe Mississippi is one, there's some up and down the Hudson, but they called Poughkeepsie the Queen City because it was the county seat. And if you look at the Poughkeepsie symbol, the logo is a beehive, the old-fashioned kind of beehive that you see in cartoons. That it looks like it has a pile of ropes and then a bee. So we captured that as our name, and we call it Queen City Arts.
You're also doing different things though in Poughkeepsie, aren't you? Doing pop-up galleries and in restaurants and
yeah, and
that's
like all part of the Queen City. That we're trying to rebrand that as something that's very community action oriented, and we're trying to pull the community in to collaborate with the artists, and it's been very successful. A lot of the businesses have lent us empty spaces. We have literary people coming in and doing readings. We have musicians, artists put up pop-up galleries, and so one day a month, that Main Street space is a wild and creative cultural space.
Yeah, that's good. I know some of the artists from over my side of the county have participated. Liliana Washburn Kathleen Heidemann, the Potters. So
and Cindy Snow.
Cindy Snow, right, yeah. I was happy to see that they were getting involved in it.
Cindy Snow brought her drummers over last time. Yeah. So it was fun. It was a wild day.
Yeah, was it? Cindy's a wild woman.
She is. She's great.
Yeah, she is great. So what else is going on with the businesses? And well, let's talk about grants also, because I know that you have, there was some changes in the grant structure this year in terms of funded organizations.
Yes, but I think maybe to lead in or go away from the Queen City, one of the things that we did, and this is regarding grants, is last year I wrote to the National Endowment for the Arts for a grant, and the Arts Council received an Artworks grant, and it essentially is going to re-grant money to existing organizations to help us put on events that are up in Queen City during the Queen City Saturdays. So places like Children's Media Project can apply for a grant to do programming during that time. And so that's one more grant opportunity that we've come up with, which we're very proud of. Some of our new grants, we're changing the way we do, because the way the County of Dutchess has given us money, we changed it, and now it's called Partners in the Arts. It's for artists and organizations in Dutchess County to be able to apply for arts and cultural funds to do programming in, and so that used to be our old funded members program. And the nice thing about that is it gave a lot of new players the opportunity to get funding. And so some of those people, like the Wasaic Project that we were speaking about previously, you know, they got funding. Yeah. So it's a really great thing.
Yeah, I was excited by that when I saw that the opportunity had changed, and it wasn't just going to be, not that they're not worthy organizations, but not the same organizations year after year. It was great to see some newer people getting into the mix.
Well, it also makes us aware that we all need to really keep sharp and keep on our game no matter what we're doing. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So part of the challenge, I think, in an organization that is regional is to kind of spread the wealth or the art or the, you know, spread everything out, try to do things fairly evenly. So how does that come into the plan?
That is a big challenge. One of the things that we have done, we actually have these huge maps in our office, and we look at them, and we look at them for things like, where did grants go to? So we have pins on which organizations and what clusters of towns got funding. And then the second thing we do is we look at programming that we do, such as our folk arts programs, you know, our networking. The Queen City Arts program is great because I've actually replicated some of the networking things into Millbrook now, because they already had a little bit of action happening there, and I thought, why should all those artists have to drive all the way here to network? And so we established something now at the Fountains at Millbrook, and that happens once a month on the third Sunday of the month. And so that's been great.
Yeah, that is great. Actually, they also joined the Artist Open Studio Tour this year. So
that's fabulous.
Yeah, they're going to be a stop on the Open Studio Tour, which was it was a great spot for us to get because it's close to a couple of the artists. So it just adds another stop in that side of the county, which is good for us.
I went on the Artist Studio Tour last year, and I was so impressed. I saw a lot of artists that I had never met before. I actually, you know, that's one of the best things about going to a studio tour is you actually get to walk into a studio, which is an artist's sacred space, and see the work up on the wall and talk to the artist. That's the best part.
Yeah, I love going to open studio tours, and I use them as a reminder of what I should do or what I should be asking the artists to do. Do you have handouts? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? You know, are you saying hi? Are you greeting people? You know, it really helps to remind me of how the people who are coming into your studio or into your house would like to be treated. You know?
That's such an important thing to say, I think, especially when you talk to artists, and that's one of the things the Arts Council does is we do technical assistance, which sounds kind of funny, technical assistance for artists, but that means the business, you know, advising on the business of how do you do your work, how you get your work out there. There's nothing more important than if you have a little gallery or if you have an open studio than to say hello to somebody when they walk in, because if you are chatting with somebody and ignore them, that person will probably just leave right away because they'll feel uncomfortable.
Sure.
And you really want to engage with them, and I think most artists end up selling a lot more work if they have a personal connection with people that walk into their studio, or people, I have seen this happen over and over again, people get to know the artist and then they just have to buy a piece of their work. So it works very well in their favor to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I also think they need to be able to take something away from it. Something, I know some of the artists will give out postcards or some kind of handouts that people can take away from it. So you feel that the roles of organizations like Art East are important in really doing public art, and not public art, but in engaging the public in art, to get people out to visit the studios, or to, you know, if you do things in between, have art events in the local areas. One thing that the Arts Council offers that is great is fiscal sponsorship for art groups.
Right, yeah, so what that is an arts, kind of a loose organization, not that, you know, that's a derogatory term, but somebody that doesn't have a formal business structure and a 501c3 or a business plan can come to the Arts Council, and if it falls within the rubric of our mission, which is essentially arts advocacy, support for artists, and Art East definitely does, then we take you under our 501c3 wing. It's a perfectly legal way of sharing, you know, so you can get people to donate to Art East, and they will get a tax write-off.
Yes, and didn't you just do something on the website where people could actually donate to Art East through your website?
Yeah, so that's another thing we do to help these organizations is we will put their a link right there, so people, we try to make everything as easy as possible.
Right.
You know, you don't want to have to dig for it.
Yeah. Well, having a fiscal sponsor is very helpful to smaller arts organizations, because it takes some of the burden of the reporting and of just kind of shifts it so that they can focus on what they're doing, and let a bigger and apply for grants too.
Some places will not let you apply if you're using a fiscal sponsor, but you know, at least it opens the door for so many things, and it's a real step up. And you know, a lot of organizations have grown exponentially because they've had this help, and that's what we love to see is, and that's how we see our role as underpinning the infrastructure and the great work that's already happening in the region, and making sure that it continues to happen.
Right. Linda, that's it. Our time is up.
Oh my goodness.
Believe it. Yeah, so I really appreciate your coming today, and I just want everybody to know that we're going to do a second interview with Linda also about the Arts Council. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.